boys and girls, how are you? I'm glad to be with you again today. I miss you guys so much. You know, Pastor Ron and I were out in that grove we were recording in the other day, and we were putting up a tent out there. And you know, I started thinking about our lesson and about making good choices. And I was thinking about Joshua. Do you guys remember Joshua and the Israelites? And Joshua was the leader of Israel after Moses had died. And Moses had died, Joshua takes over, the Lord tells him to be really courageous and to stand for him. And then we go through the life of Joshua, and Joshua and Israel take the land of Canaan. But how do they do it? Not by their might, but by God. God fought for them. God drove out the inhabitants. God did it for them. They didn't have to, they just obeyed the voice of God. And I was thinking about that and thinking about choices. And you know, boys and girls, Joshua comes to the end of his life after he's been the leader of Israel a long time, and he goes through the whole history. He starts with Abraham and how God led Abraham out, how God led Moses, how God was with Israel, and he reminds them of all God did. And then he says to them, you decide if you're going to serve the gods that we conquered, the gods that God brought you through. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. That's at the very last part of the book of Joshua. Joshua made a choice. He made a choice to serve the Lord no matter what. And boys and girls, that's what we have to do. You know, we have this rope that we were using with the tent, and it sort of reminded me of something. You know, we make choices and we feel like our life is so long. But boys and girls, if we make our life just this here, you see how I'm putting this red on here? Even if we live 100 years, okay, 100 years, and this is our life, this red, this is our life, represents our life. The choices we make in this life will affect eternity. And you know what? Eternity, this is our life, right? And then we have more and 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 more. The choices, boys and girls, that we make today will affect forever. So we need to be like Joshua and say, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Boys and girls, it's sometimes hard to follow the Lord. It's sometimes hard to make good choices. But we have to think it doesn't just affect us today, it affects us in eternity. And you may say, Miss Mary, but they make fun of me, they laugh at me, or my friends think it's silly that I go to church and I serve Jesus. You know what, boys and girls? The Bible tells us that that's going to happen. It tells us we're going to be laughed at, we're going to be persecuted, we're going to be made fun of because we follow Jesus. But they only do that for a little while. When we serve Jesus, we know we have eternity to be with him. So boys and girls, I want to encourage you, like from Joshua chapter 24, verse 15. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Boys and girls, we need to choose to serve the Lord every day. Lord, thank you for your word. Thank you that you go before us like you did Israel. Thank you that you help us like you helped Israel. Thank you that you are always with us. Lord, help us to choose today to serve you, to choose today to make good decisions, to follow after you, not to follow other things. Lord, help us every day to choose you. Thank you for these boys and girls, Lord. Bless them and help them as they choose to serve you every day.